I'm sitting here with one of the most vocal and popular politicians of our state, Kong Ampareen Lingdo, who is known for raising many issues which are a cause of concern to our society. And as you're aware, there is a paradigm shift in the political scenario in our state. And I'm here to try and find out what is there in Kong Ampareen's mind and how would she go about it with the elections just around the corner. So, Kong, we all know that the MPCC chief said that the decision regarding your suspension will be decided probably next month. So how do you take that?
I think pretty much all of the decisions that they needed to take have already been taken. It's just that we don't talk about it. The very fact that a suspension was initiated, ideally during suspension, the party shouldn't have done so many things that it has already done. The first thing they did was they removed our president, which is fine. After all, they are the high command and probably they can do whatever they want. We didn't react. Within 3 days, within 2 hours of receipt of my suspension order, within 2 hours of that suspension order, we see another media link which says that they've removed my president. The next thing I hear after 3 days is that this president has started his campaign trail. So, what other action can they take? Wouldn't it be interesting if I decide, because of my own personal relationships with members of the AICC, if I should decide to go back to the Congress, what are they going to do? But they've gone ahead and they've literally booted me out. So what other decision could this president still be taking? That's an interesting question.
So, Kong, that means after you receive your suspension order, you along with 4 other MLAs, there had been no discussion, no talks between both sides, be it the high command or the state command? And
I have a lot of well-wishers in the AICC who are very concerned about the situation of the politics of the Congress in the state of Meghalaya, who are in conversation with me. But, $1,000,000 question, why have you booted me out? What if I decide to go back to the Congress? Wouldn't it be interesting? Or do you expect me to then again fight for a ticket with a novice? So that's very interesting. I leave it to their wisdom. Who am I? They are the ones who have issued me the suspension order, so they should take a decision and I will accordingly react. But as of today, you cannot say that I am not the CLP of the Congress in the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly.
okay. So there have been a lot of questions regarding your allegiance, following your decision to support the MDA government. And many rumors have been going around of the possibility of you joining the NPP. Is that anywhere on the cards?
You see, the political scenario in the state of Meghalaya is in a very fluxed situation. As much as people are playing games, I refuse to indulge in any decision taking because my people will help me take that decision forward. As I go ahead in my campaign, I'm asking every household what they would like me to do. And when I have finished with my door-to-door, I will take those decisions accordingly and I will make them public accordingly. I am a leader of the people. It is the people who have voted me to this office, and I will respect my people's wishes. I am already engaging on a large scale with my supporters and well-wishers. I will take a final decision once I have completed this exercise of engaging with my people, who will again decide to vote me to this office.
Now, Kong, if we talk about the Congress party in the state of Meghalaya, we see that many of the leaders of the Congress, be it in the MDCs or the MLAs, all of them are leaving the Congress one by one. So what do you think will be the fate of the Congress in the upcoming elections?
It is not for me to opine on the businesses going on in a party which has already suspended me. It's just very disappointing. It is very disturbing because we are committed leaders, very, very committed leaders. And if people go about behaving in a manner in which a nationwide party takes its decision by individuals according to their whims and fancies, now this is what is damaging us the most.
Okay, and ma'am, there have been questions among the people of the state, and they want to know whether is it a possibility for you to go back to the UDP?
I am exploring all possibilities. That is another thing that I'm also asking my people. It is not Ampareen that will decide where to go. It is the people that will give me that sense of direction. I cannot take a decision on my own. And I'd like to respond to your previous question of why the 5 MLAs decided to join the MDA. To the 5 of us, that was a collective decision taken by all 5. So when 5 of us decided to join the MDA, as we have made it clear on many occasions, that we had actually written to the party and the High Command about our decision and wish to join the MDA for all practical purposes. I think that since joining the MDA government, which is just about going to be 2 months now, we have benefited substantially in our respective constituencies. Now, if you ask me, as a legislator who represents my people, then I will tell you it was correct on all the 5 of us to take a decision to join the MDA. Why the party did not reply to our letter is a question that only they can answer. Because we've had this conversation even in the PCC meeting. There were agreements and disagreements. But at the end, by and large, when you write to the party high command, you expect them to respond. And when there is no response coming forward from them, you take it as consent. Why was this sudden display of confusion? Why was there a need to suspend us? What wrong have we done?
So, Kong, can we say that the AICC has not taken this matter in Meghalaya seriously? Because as we know, the exit of Dr. Mukul Sangma and Bart Charles, and soon after that, the suspension of the 5 of you. So do you think they are taking things lightly, especially at the time when the state is about to go to polls, and especially at the time when many of the leaders are exiting the party?
I will refrain from publicly commenting on this matter, but I have sought several forums to talk about the predicament that we are all in at this situation. I do not want to say that this party or that party is not doing its work, because at the end of the day, as a suspended member of any political party, I should refrain from expressing my personal observations on a public domain. Up till today, there has been no effort put in, and there has been no attempt put in. Very upsetting.
So, Kong, can we say that you are set, your mind is set? If the party decides to call you back, or the party decides to, expel the 5 of you, that means you've already decided for the future. The future course of action, political life.
No decision of this nature can take a final turn. We are in politics. It's a very active domain. So I will not say any such thing on a media front. But I will say one thing. I'm preparing for my polls with or without your help.
So, last but not the least, Kong, you're known as one of the few women's longest serving legislators in our state. And we know that there is a need to encourage our women to join active politics. So, if a chance come your way to take up the mantle of the chief minister, would you take it up?
That is $1 million question. Which legislator would not say that I refuse the chief minister's seat? Of course not. You will not have anybody say that. But it is a man's world. I don't know how long it'll take any woman to reach that top seat. But I am going to prove it to any party that I go to, that if you give me an opportunity, I will handhold many more women to join the party that I go to. Or even if I remain in the Congress, I've always said women empowerment is a number one priority. I have never shied away from that. Yes, I'm going for my 5th election. And yes, maybe I'm the only surviving woman. But my survival has always been full of turmoils. There has never been one poll where political parties and their membership would have given me any blessing. I've always been looked at as a threat. I've always been looked at as a person who has a voice but is always questioned. I know that many women after me will likely get into politics, but we need to remember one thing, that politics is not based on genders. We've seen some very good women chief ministers in this country. We've seen some dynamic women reach the top seat. My hard work, like their hard work, would likely be the only way forward. I will not be ambitious of wanting to occupy the hottest seat in the state of Meghalaya, but I'll be working hard every year. I will be trying my best to bring forward policies which are not just gender bias in terms of women alone orientations, but I would like to see that the state of Meghalaya is enriched, is vibrant. And right now, the MDA has that vibrancy in their chief minister and some of the cabinet ministers as well. So I look forward to these elections. I'm preparing, working very hard. I'm sure none of my opponents will think that I will just raise my hands and surrender. I will not do that. I have my own peculiar style of working. I am not aggressive by nature, but I'm clear when I speak my mind. I am focused. I will try my best to consolidate on my vote share in my constituency. Every year, through the last 4 elections, you have seen that my vote share in my constituency increases. Now, can I better that? This is my biggest challenge and task.
So we've heard from Kong Ampareen herself on her preparations for the upcoming polls. Of course, the 2023 Assembly elections is going to be an interesting elections. We'll just have to wait and watch how things unfold. This is Iban Mauri for the Shillong Times.